Prince Andrew told to reveal his income source as woman says he owes her £3 million in bombshell claim. Prince Andrew has been told to come clean and reveal the secret sources of funding that are bankrolling his stay at Royal Lodge in Windsor. King Charles stopped paying his disgraced brother's £3 million a year security bill at the 30-room mansion last month and urged him to move into more modest accommodation as part of an extraordinary row dubbed the Siege of Royal Lodge. Now it has emerged that Andrew has been allowed to stay at the property in Windsor Great Park after convincing palace authorities that he has secured enough funds to support himself. It has been reported that the keeper of the Privy Purse, Sir Michael Stevens, has approved the financing as coming from legitimate sources. But Buckingham Palace faced a backlash on Saturday night after refusing to say where the money, likely to run into millions, is coming from. Hello viewers, please remember to subscribe and click on the notifications bell icon, so you will be notified whenever we upload new cookies about the British royal family. Earlier this month, royal writer Robert Hardman revealed in his updated biography of Charles III that the king has also severed his brother's annual personal allowance, believed to be £1 million a year. Andrew, however, claims to have found other sources of income related to his contacts in international trade, a source told Hardman. In an explosive intervention last night, a French socialite who claimed that she lost more than £3 million in a dispute with Andrew and his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson over the sale of a luxury ski chalet voiced her fury at the Duke's mystery bailout. Speaking to the Mail on Sunday, Isabel de Rouva said, "I am missing millions as a result of this man. I reduced what he owed me because they told me he did not have the money. I was left with little choice. Now he is saying he has plenty of finances, but where does this money now come from? They, Andrew and Sarah, were apparently so poor before they had to pay me, and now they are so rich." It emerged last night that Chancellor Rachel Reeves could be dragged into the row. Andrew leases Royal Lodge from the Crown Estate, which hands its profits over to the Treasury, which has general oversight of the Crown Estate's business. The Duke signed a 75-year lease agreement with the Crown Estate for Royal Lodge in 2003. He pays rent reported to be £260,000 a year and must also repair, renew, uphold, clean and keep in repair and where necessary rebuild the sprawling property. In an acrimonious standoff, the King, 75, has been attempting to persuade Andrew, 64, to move to nearby Frogmore Cottage, recently vacated by Prince Harry and the Duchess of Sussex. The revelation that he has found the funding to remain in Royal Lodge will raise fears that Andrew is exploiting the foreign business contacts he accumulated during the decade he spent as Britain's trade envoy. Prince Andrew booted out of Royal Lodge because he didn't take care of the estate. Royal biographer Angela Levin has claimed that Prince Andrew is to be booted out of his home because he is not looking after the building. Speaking to GB News, Levin described Royal Lodge as in a terrible state. The comments come as King Charles is claimed to have cut off Prince Andrew's annual £1 million allowance and withdrawn funding for his private security. Sources claim the decision was made after Andrew refused to vacate the 30-room Royal Lodge in Windsor Great Park, where he resides with ex-wife Sarah Ferguson. Speaking to Nana Akua, Levin said, "King Charles did say to Andrew that on the 1st of November he's not going to give him £1 million a month to help him keep going, and he's not paying 7 figures for all the protection officers for him. He's got to be on his own because he's not working royal and also he's not looking after the building. He lives in a huge mansion with his ex-wife, and it's got 30 bedrooms and it's in a terrible state." Andrew took no notice, absolutely no notice. They have never got on really. And it's happened now. So we'll have to see what he will do. He has got a bit of money from the late Queen, his mother. But we will see. She added, "Catherine and William don't want it. His girls don't want it. He doesn't want it, Camilla doesn't want it. So I don't know what they're going to do with it, but they're certainly going to do something. It will need quite a lot of rebuilding." The Duke, who signed a 75-year lease on the property in 2003, is now facing pressure to downsize to the smaller Frogmore cottage. Andrew's refusal to leave Royal Lodge has become a point of contention. The property requires an estimated £503,000 annually for upkeep. Despite pressure to relocate to Frogmore Cottage, the former home of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, Andrew has dug his heels in, as described by broadcaster Helena Chard. Royal expert Michael Cole told GB News that the security contract termination is a real problem for Andrew, given the expense of maintaining such a large property. Prince Andrew's royal return, halted before it gets off the ground as he'd failed vetting process. Prince Andrew was linked with a shock royal return this week as it was pointed out he could be the perfect person to act as a helicopter pilot for his brother, King Charles. The Scottish Express told how the monarch was on the lookout for an experienced flyer to join his chopper team known as the King's Helicopter Flight, TKHF. The Duke of York flew helicopters with distinction during the Falklands War and is said to retain a fascination with flying, spending hours at his Royal Lodge home tracking the takeoff and arrival of planes. Based at Odiham in Hampshire, the job carries a competitive salary with benefits handy for Andrew, who has become strapped for cash in recent years as he tries to pay for the upkeep of his home. But it has now been pointed out Andrew would likely fail the vetting procedure if he did shock everyone by handing in his CV. According to the Daily Mail, the Palace HR team states, "We will contact your professional, and sometimes personal, referees. We'll also undertake background checks in order to process your security clearance." And that would spell bad news for the disgraced Duke, whose links to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein are well known. While an FBI probe into his friendship Epstein was paused, it continues to cast a pall over Andrew's head. The TKHF consists of a small team of pilots and ground support staff who provide an exceptional helicopter travel service to members of the royal family undertaking official engagements across the UK, according to the job advertisement on the royal family website. The King is looking for an experienced multi-engine helicopter commander who will act as either pilot in command or co-pilot. The successful applicant will be responsible for the planning and safe execution of flights and duties in accordance with TKHF Operations Manual. As well as flying duties, the job involves offering support to the Director of Flight Operations with a range of management and operational activities. The successful applicant would be required to live within an hour of RAF Odiham, not an issue for Andrew, whose Royal Lodge home is just 45 minutes away. The Duke is far from the only royal with experience of handling a helicopter. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and drop comments, and most importantly don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything.